What's up, guys? It's Escaped Alien. I wanted to go ahead and show off my June PSA submission. I did unfortunately miss submitting in April and May. Life just got a little too busy and it got away from me. But as usual, I like to show off the cards before I send them to PSA, and then the second part of this video will be once I get the PSA return. For you guys, that'll be instantaneous. For me, PSA has been typically taking about a month to get the cards back to me. So let us go over what I'm submitting this time around. First off, Metazoo. Still love Metazoo cards. This is the Playtester Hollow Midnight Lake Sigil from Wilderness. I think it's just a really pretty card. I really like the hollow pattern in it. And as I've said before, I really like Playtester cards. The hollow Playtester cards, there's something like 30 of them in existence. So I figure when I get a clean copy, something that has decent centering, no print lines, and doesn't appear to have any whitening on it, I think it's worth submitting for the slab collection. Next up, Green Goblin. This is a promo card from, gotta remember his name, Pay Wubby Money, Wubby Pay Money, something like that. But this was a card that people got in a promotional stream. Pretty sought after promo from what I've seen online. But I just think it's a really fun card. And this one seems to be kind of hard to get good centering from what I've seen. So I think this one actually has a shot at a 10. Next up, this I actually bought from my buddy Metasnipe. Some of us in the community may have known him. But he was a big NFT guy for the Metazoo side and had a bunch of these coin cards. I'm a really big fan of the coin cards. I just think they're a lot of fun, and it's tied to a big piece of Metazoo history, a controversial piece, as NFTs and crypto typically are. But this one is number 168 out of 276. It is the Bronze Salamander Queen token. So my goal is eventually to get all these tokens in a slab. I'm not really shooting for PSA 10 with the tokens, but I just want one of each of them in a slab. So I could say I have the completed collection. But I also like that I know where this card came from. I love having other people's cards from the community and being able to keep track of which ones belong to somebody else. Obviously I could do that with the serial number, but you guys know me, I'm a slab guy. This next one is the Silver Party token. I believe this one also came from Metasnipe, but I do already have this card, so you know, I did buy an original token card. I was part of the you know, original purchase of those, and you know, got the exclusive NFT drops and the benefits that came along with that. So I'm always going to keep my token card because it's assigned to my NFT, but I am also looking for one, you know, see which one gets the highest grade. If it doesn't get a 10, then I'll probably just sell it. But like I said, I really like these token cards. And if you guys remember in Metazoo history, what was interesting about these, when you went to mint them, they did it in a really weird way. It was like the first 750 people or so to mint one of these NFT cards, we all got the Silver Party. Because I remember I was one of the first people in there trying to mint the coin, and then when the coins were revealed, I ended up getting a silver, and it was like everybody that went first got the silver, then it was, I think then it went bronze, gold, and then all the random ones started showing up. So kind of early Metazoo history there. Okay, next up. So I just have two of the Rudy's Nice Metal promos. These are just extras, so these ones, regardless of what their grades are definitely going to be for sale. As I've said in the past, whenever I have extra of the Rudy cards, when I was trying to achieve my PSA 10 set, all those ones I'm just going to get rid of. I don't need a bunch of extras. I already have the PSA 10 set. Then I have a random Rudy's Green Crayon. I'm going to go ahead and submit that. That'll also be for sale, because I also have the entire PSA 10 set of this. Bats Maru, the SDCC promo. This one is going to be for sale as well. I did manage to get this in a PSA 10, so this one, you know, centering wise and condition wise, I thought I had a shot at a 10. So I'm going to go ahead and submit it, and then I'll sell it, hopefully recoup a little bit of the money that I put into chasing this promo set. And then we have the SDCC Hello Kitty promo. Same situation, I already got the PSA 10 for it, so this one's going to go up for sale. The centering on the front, it's a little heavier on the left, so I would not be surprised. I think everything else on the card condition wise is great. The back actually has beautiful centering, but I wouldn't be shocked if that centering left to right on the front ends up making it get a 9. But I'll grade it, see what the PSA graders think about it, and regardless, I do plan on selling this card. Okay, moving on to Elestrals. So this is Shattered Stars Month 1, the Marble Zeus card. I submitted a decent amount of these in my last PSA submission, and not a single one managed to come back a PSA 10. I was pretty bummed about that. So for whatever reason, this card in particular in the Shattered Stars line, it seems to be kind of challenging, at least in my case, to try to achieve a 10. So I ended up getting some more of these, and I'm going to see if this one can pull off the 10. Because I have a goal to get all the marble cards and stained glass cards in a 10. Then I have 3 of the Kion. This is the marble card for the Frost month of the Elestrals Shattered Stars. Beautiful card. I mean, the background has that Aurora Borealis type color scheme to it. I think they did a great job with this one. So I'm hoping at least one of these will come back as a PSA 10 so I can achieve that goal of the entire line of the marble cards in PSA 10. So I got 3 of those going out. Next up, I have 2 of the Enfrostics. This is also from the Frost month of the Shattered Stars monthly subscription. This is the stained glass, as I've said, going for the stained glass as well. So I got 2 of those to submit this time around, hoping one of them gets a 10. And for the Elestrals cards, I'm also going to sell the extras. I'm not really looking to complete multiple sets of 10, I just want my 1. I submit a number of them to give me a better chance of that. But the rest, hopefully community members will buy them up and I can recoup some of that cost. Got 3 of the Poseidons. This is from the Water month of Elestrals. I actually think out of the marble cards that have come out so far, I think this one has got to be my favorite. So it looks like the artist was FaB. FaB Sumner Twisk. And I think FaB just did a fantastic job with this. Really love the coloring. I'd say this statue card, this marble card, I think the artwork pops a lot more than most of them that I've seen. The artwork itself, it's a little bit lighter in color, and then you have the fish around it with the green, the blue of the ocean. Really dig that one, but I got 3 of those. And then I have 3 of the Majesty stained glass cards from the Water month. Same thing, just hoping to get at least one PSA 10, but I really love these stained glass cards from Elestrals. You're doing a fantastic job. Alright, continuing on with Elestrals. This is a serialized card known as a Stellar. It's a Stellar Sprouter. So this came from the Kickstarter Centaur Bar deck, and it is really hard to pull a serialized card. It's out of 99, so there's only 99 of these in existence. This is number 35. I do not expect a very high grade for this. On both the front and the back, the centering is pretty bad. So the bottom here, I want to say probably only 20%, 30% on the bottom versus 70-80% on the top. And on the back side, got the same thing top to bottom, but it's also pretty bad left to right. This is not indicative of most of the newer sets of Elestrals. This is kind of when I think a lot of things were being figured out, and it kind of seems like some of these serialized cards can have that kind of issue. But nevertheless, it is still a very rare Elestrals card. Like I said, only 99 copies in existence. So for me, I like my rarer cards and the cards that I like the artwork for to be slabbed up, so that's what I'm going to do. Just going to protect this card with a slab. Next up is an Aphoros. This is number 43 out of 99. So this would have just came out of a Kickstarter booster box. Super cool alternative artwork, and same thing, just want to get it slabbed and protected so I can have it for display purposes. Next up is Quackle. So this is number 3 out of 99. This would have came from a Kickstarter Ethereal starter deck. Super cool card. I really like the pink design for the Quackle in this card. And again, not expecting a high grade out of this. The centering front and back is pretty off, but it'll be cool to have it in the slab. Alright, next up, I have not one but 2 error mirrors from Elestrals. Again, serialized cards. I don't know what happened, but in the win month of these Shattered Stars, I got super lucky, and I didn't even have that many packs. I got 2 of these stellar error mirrors in that one, so like I said, super lucky. I don't know what to say, but this one is 86 out of 99, this one is 2 out of 99. And I don't plan on keeping both of them. I figured I'd just get them slabbed up, maybe see which one comes back as a better condition. That'll probably be the one that I keep. The second one will go to market, see if any of the community members would like to own it. But it'll be cool to have that one as well. Alright, then we have an Alpha Clash card. This is kind of a comic book superhero themed TCG. I really like what they're doing. They're doing a good job with that theme. But this is a Christmas promo. So I always love having promos. I'm a big promo collector in general. And I think the holofoil in it is a really cool pattern. It's kind of a rainbow pattern top to bottom. So if you watched my Sorcery Beta booster box opening, I was lucky enough to pull the Kythera mechanism. And that is in holo. So this card by itself is pretty expensive. I want to say it was like a $170 card last I checked. So I figured I'd give Sorcery a shot at grading, and I feel like the centering on it's good, and I don't see any damage around the card. So we'll see what that comes back out. I think that is my first Sorcery card I'm going to be submitting. Next up, Flesh and Blood. So these are both Aether Quickenings, but for those of you that are familiar with Flesh and Blood, you have this color at the top, and that's going to change the resource count as well. You'll notice this has 3 filled in dots, this has 2, and they do a little bit of different effects. This one deals 2 arcane damage, this one deals 3, so if you don't know Flesh and Blood, you can have 3 of the same named cards, but the effects are going to be different, the costs and resource limits are going to be different, and then you'll notice it more easily at the top. There's blue, yellow, and red colors. So these were promos that came with one of the Rudy kits when you ordered Flesh and Blood. I don't remember, unfortunately, which kit it was. But I'm going to submit them, see what kind of grade they get. I've only ever submitted Rudy cards for Flesh and Blood to PSA. So I'm not really sure what to expect from these, and frankly I'm not even sure if I'm going to really keep them. The only slabbed Flesh and Blood cards I collect are the Rudy Gem Keeper type cards. Those are the equipment cards. These do come up as Rudy promos when you look them up in the Flesh and Blood promo section of their website. But, you know, it's not really themed anything Rudy or any kind of the equipment, so yeah, for now I'll just get them slabbed up, and then I'll make a decision later on whether or not I want to keep them. So then I have 2 more of these Lorcana D100. These are just going to be 2 random ones from a 3rd kit that I had opened. I already submitted 2 kits worth, but these ones were in good condition. I still need the Stitch in a PSA 10. So if that comes back a 10, I'm going to keep it. The Maui, I already have a 10 in, so regardless, that's for sale. But if the Stitch doesn't come back as a 10, then I'm just going to go ahead and sell it off. Next up, Next up, Loudred. So this one, I believe, is a Paradox Rift card, but really like this artwork. I think the name fits the Pokemon well, and they captured it well with how the background, it's a very loud card. It's got a lot of colors going on, a lot of different kind of shapes and textures. So I just thought this card was rad, and honestly, if I don't get a 10, I'll probably buy more of these and try to see if I can't get a 10 in my slab collection. Card that I've submitted before, Morpeko. I'm actually not quite sure this will get a 10. I noticed a little dot on the back, but kind of experimenting with that. Still trying to figure out Pokemon grading, but as I've said before, just think it's a super cute card. I thought they did a great job with it, so I'm going to submit another one of those. This is a Mewtwo. I'm not actually sure what set this is. Of course, I'll know when I submit it to PSA, but it's got the little stamp, Mewtwo stamp in the corner here, so don't think this is any kind of super special card. It's not super rare. I think it's a cheaper card, but I've said it before, I'm a Mewtwo collector, so we'll see what that comes back as. I'll just go through these ones really quick. These are the UPC promos. I've submitted them before, but you know, I'm still kind of buying them, seeing if I can get more 10s, and seeing if I can't sell them off if they do get a 10, because I did manage to achieve my set of 10s. But super solid promos, and you know, I think I can sell them cheap so other people are happy to get them, and I'm happy to recoup some money on the PSA sub. So this is Mimikyu. This is the Pokemon Center stamped one. I actually have 2 of these that I'm going to submit. Super creepy Pokemon. I don't know what's up with Mimikyu. I don't know if he's a ghost Pokemon or if it's like a Ditto Pikachu type thing. But gonna try out these ones. Kind of a cheaper promo. I'm gonna try to see if I can't get at least 1 in a 10. Another card I've submitted a ton before, and I cannot for the life of me get a PSA 10. This is the Bulbasaur Best Buy promo. So I don't know what to say. Every single time I submit one of these, I get a 9 back. So hopefully I get a 10 this time. I'm going to eventually try to chase down the Best Buy Bulbasaur, which is here, the Pokemon Center Squirtle, the Charmander from GameStop, and then there's the Pokemon Center Snorlax. I'm going to see if I can get the entire set in PSA 10. Another Mimikyu. This one's not Pokemon Center stamped. What I noticed on these ones, not that I think a lot of people are going to submit a $1 to $2 card, but the print lines on them. So you can have great centering on them, you can have no whitening along the edges, but the print lines, you'll notice on so many of them, there's just a straight flat print line going across. Glad I noticed it, because I almost submitted more of them. But I'm going to see how this grades versus the Pokemon Center one. Next up is a Simisear V-Star. I got this one because I kind of hate it. The artwork just looks really dumb to me, but it's kind of cute. It's one of those things where it's almost so ugly it's cute, and I do kind of like the layout of the card. It's pretty colorful, so I figured I'd just go ahead and submit it, see what it comes back as. Veluza. So this card to me is an example of a fantastic illustration card by Pokemon. I just think this card's beautiful. The colors they use, the ocean scenery, super stoked on this one. And I don't even think it's that expensive a card. Pretty sure it's from Paradox Rift, so just when I see a really nice illustration card, I'm trying to kind of scope it out more when I go to local game stores and see if I can get a clean copy of illustration cards that I like, and just going to submit it, see if I can't add it to the personal collection as a PSA 10. Next up is a Lumineon V. So kind of another example of more of an illustration style card that I just think they did a really good job on. I love the artwork. And I'm just noticing in general these Pokemon cards that have this underwater theme, I think the artists just do a fantastic job with it. So we'll see if I can add that to the slab collection. Next up's a Radiant Charizard. So not super attached to this card or anything. I got it as a pickup in a trade from an LGS. I think the holo patterns are cool on these Radiant cards, that kind of diamond holo pattern that flows throughout the card as you turn it. But Charizards, you know, I guess they're always good to have in slabs if you can get them high enough, but it's a card that I probably wouldn't be opposed to trading later on. So I figured this one's in good enough condition. I'll submit it, see what happens. Alright, these two cards, a little more special. This one is from my buddy Cutthroat Zoo, a great guy that I'm sure many of us are familiar with in the Metazoo community, and now the Nom Nom community is also known as Cutthroat Nom. And he was just looking to make up a little bit of money, so he was selling some of his personal collection Pokemon cards. And as I've said before, I always like knowing where these cards came from. And I believe he said this was a childhood Mew promo, and as I've said too, I'm a big promo guy. So this one was in solid enough condition that I think it's worth grading, and you know, I just like knowing that it came from somebody that I'm a big fan of in the community. And last but not least, again, a card from Cutthroat Zoo's personal collection. So this is an unlimited base set Blastoise. Condition was pretty dang good, and the centering's good. There might be a little bit of whitening on a corner or two, so I'm not expecting a perfect 10. He also pointed out before I bought the card that it does have a little bit of hollow lines going throughout the hollow. So, you know, kind of hoping to maybe hit that 8 range. If I can get a PSA 8 on it, I'd be happy with that. But super iconic card, super iconic artwork. And for me, it's more about having a card from one of my friends in my personal collection. So that Mew and that Blastoise, unless he ever wanted to buy them back because, you know, he felt like, you know, he wants them back in his collection, I'd understand that. But otherwise, they're just going to stay in my personal collection as cool pieces I got from cool people. Alright, well, I'm going to go ahead and box this up, ship it out, and then the next part of this is going to be the submission coming back to me. So, I'll see you guys in a few seconds. Alright, and here we are. The submission is back. So as usual, I'll go ahead and put the population reports for what's available above the card. There's all 50 of our beautiful slabs. Let's see how out of order these ones are. Okay, I'll speed up the video real quick just to sort them out into different categories of games. So just give me 1 second. Okay, and we're back. So we're going to start off with Elestrals. So first we have a Stellar Quackle. So this would have came from the Imperial starter deck from Kickstarter. Serialized number 3 out of 99. And we got an 8. Not bad on that, because I wasn't expecting it to get a very high grade. The centering is kind of off on the front of the card. So just pretty cool having one of the Stellar cards, well, any of my Stellar cards in a slab. Next up, we have the Aphoros. Another Stellar card. This one's serialized number 43 out of 99. And on this one, we get a 9. Not too bad. Start making my piles of different grades that I got. Next up, we have the Sprouter. This is serialized number 35 out of 99. This would have came from a Centaur Boar Kickstarter deck. And we got a 7 on that. So it's a little bit lower, but as I had mentioned in the card show off before the submission video, the centering on this one's super bad. The bottom has probably about 10-20%. The top has about 80%, so I was not expecting a very high grade at all on this. Okay, next up, we have the Shattered Stars Elestrals Majesty. And that's the stained glass version of it. Super, super cool series of cards. This one got a 10. Awesome. First 10 there. Next up is another Shattered Stars Stained Glass Majesty, and we got another 10. Our third Stained Glass Majesty. 3 for 3 on the 10s. Awesome. Alright, now we have a Poseidon. This is also from the water month of Shattered Stars. This is what they call the Marble series of cards. The gods are in a marble form. And we got a 10. Great start. Another Poseidon. Gets another 10. That is awesome. And our last Poseidon. Another 10. 3 for 3 on that one as well. Next up we have a Stellar Aeromir. So this was from the Wind month of Shattered Stars. This one's serialized number 2 out of 99. And we got a 10. That's amazing on the serialized cards. Like I said, only 99 of these are in existence. So to get a 10 on one of them is a pretty big deal. Okay, this is our second Aeromir. I was lucky enough to pull 2 serialized cards in that month of Shattered Stars. This is number 86 out of 99, and we get another 10. That's amazing. So this card here, I'm probably going to put up for sale. I don't feel like I need 2 of these. Somebody else in the community might appreciate having one of these in a 10. So awesome. Great on that. Then we have the Enfrostics. This is going to be from the Frost month of Elestrals, the Ice month. Another stained glass card here, and we get a 10. Our second Enfrostics, and we get another 10. Alright, so this is also from the Frost month of Shattered Stars Elestrals. This is going to be Kion, another marble card, and another 10. Second Kion here. Another 10. Third Kion. 3 for 3 on those. Another 10. Alright, Zeus. So this is from the first month of Shattered Stars, the Electric month, or Thunder month rather. And I had a really hard time on this card. I think I've submitted 3 or 4 of them so far. This might be my 4th one, and have not managed to get the 10 yet. But awesome, we get it in this submission. I was getting worried about this one because the Shattered Stars are actually sold out for this month along with some other months, so that is really awesome to secure that 10. So that's going to do it for Elestrals. We did excellent on the Elestrals. Those are all 10s right there. Lowest grade was a 7, but like I said, on most of the Stellars, I don't expect a super high grade. So we killed it on that. Let's go ahead. I'll probably save Pokemon for last here. Why don't we go on to Metazoo? So the first card we have for Metazoo is a Hello Kitty card. This is one of my extras from when I was trying to complete my master set. In my first submission, I already achieved the 10, so this one's going to be for sale no matter what. But we got a 10. That is awesome. So that's going to be nice to sell in the secondary market, get some of my cash back for that first Elestrals, or excuse me, that first Metazoo submission for Hello Kitty. But fantastic promo. I think out of all the Hello Kitty series of cards for Metazoo, the SDCC promos were by far my favorite for Hello Kitty. Okay. So this was that 168 out of 276 Bronze Salamander Queen token card. Pretty rare promos within the NFT collector's sphere. And on this one we got a 10. That is awesome. Yeah, I'm not trying to complete a set of PSA 10 in this. I mean, maybe super long term I might try to go for that goal, but for now I just want one of each of these token cards in a slab. But to get one in a 10 is just, that's incredible. Okay, so now we have the Bats Maru, also from the Hello Kitty SDCC promo line. I already have one of these, so this one's going to be for sale. And we get a 10. That is awesome. Rudy's Green Crayon, so I already have this in the PSA 10, so whatever this gets is going to be for sale. And we get another 10. Incredible. 6.9 metal for Rudy. Definitely going to be for sale. These were just some extras I had lying around from the master set goal. We get a 10. Second Rudy 6.9 and another 10. Alright, silver party token. So this is just going to be extra for me at this point. I already have a couple of these, so I'm probably just going to list them all in the secondary market. We get a 9 on that. Pretty hard card to get a 10 in from my experience, but that's okay. Like I said, that one's just an extra regardless. Midnight Lake Sigil, as I said, very beautiful artwork. I feel like oftentimes these sigil cards or the orb cards, they kind of are underrated. This is one of the Poncho artworks. Really nice dark theme. I feel like it goes super well with Poncho's Awful card as well. And we get a 10. Awesome to have that playtester and a PSA 10. Next up, Green Goblin token, the Pay Money Wubby promo card. And I actually saw a funny video recently in the Oasis Discord. Somebody shared that I guess Pay Money Wubby, when he got pissed off about Metazoo closing or just how Mike was or something, he decided to destroy a bunch of his extra promos of these. So from what I can tell, there's actually a decent amount of these out there because a lot of them have been graded. So I'm assuming there's at least several hundred. So I don't think it's a super rare promo, but it's just a super fun promo. And we got a 10. Fantastic. Alright, so for Cryptic, originally, the month ago when I submitted this PSA run, Cryptic had something exciting coming up. They decided not to go with it. So I'm not really going to say anything else on this. The artworks are still cool on these cards, but instead of describing anything else about Cryptic, all I'm going to say is shout out to Speed Robo Games. Awesome guy. I'm sorry you couldn't complete the next set for Cryptic, but Speed Robo's got a bright future. Cryptic, not sure, but I'm assuming not so much. But regardless, let's see what these grades are. So we got a 10 on that one. Very cool Miami promo. So we'll see. I might end up selling the Cryptic slabs here. Next up is Hecatomb. So this is going to be from early on in Cryptic history. And we got a 10 on that. Moving on to Lorcana. So the D100 from Rise of the Floodborn promos. Been trying really hard to get a set of PSA 10 in these, but haven't had much luck. So let's see what happens. A 9, that's a bummer. I can see why the PSA 10 sets are going for so much now. Stitch, same series. Got a 9 on that as well. Brutal. Alright, Alpha Clash. Always stoked on Alpha Clash. This is the Merry Christmas Lynn, the Nanette Warrior promo. And we got a 10. That's awesome. Very pretty artwork. Love the background, that rainbow background. Solid piece to add to the collection. Sorcery. So this is my first experience submitting a sorcery card for grading. This is the Kythera Mechanism, and I got it in foil. We got a 9 on that. That's a bummer, but from what I've seen, sorcery doesn't look like it's going to be easy to grade. The backs of these cards, oftentimes it more has to do with the cuts than anything. Kind of seems like maybe whatever machine they're using at the factory to cut these is a little bit dull. Flesh and Blood, these were just those promos I had lying around from one of the early Rudy kits. We got a 10 on the Aether Quickening. That is going to be the blue top, number 114. Second Flesh and Blood, Aether Quickening with the yellow top, number 113. We got a 9 on that one. That's okay. Those are kind of just throw-ins. I'm trying to grade a little bit more for Flesh and Blood over time. So looks like we're going to go ahead and move on to Pokemon now. So we have another one of the Gold Metal Mew EX cards from the 151 UPC promo set. I got a 10 on that. That's awesome. Those do seem to grade pretty well though, so not super surprised by that. All right, the Mew EX, same thing from the 151 promo set, and on this one we get another 10. That's great. These are actually kind of hard to grade. And then now we have the Mewtwo from the 151 UPC set. And we got a 10. Okay, so that's particularly cool because this is now a sequential set, ending in 65, 66, and 67. So I already had a set of PSA 10s, but I'm definitely going to be keeping the sequential set over the set I currently have. So probably list that set I currently have for sale, and then this will become my personal collection set. 10 piles looking big here. Alright, next up, Mimikyu. This is just going to be the ETB promo. Very cheap card, but pretty cool promo. I mean, you got Grandma here knitting something with the creepy Mimikyu in the background. Just really, really nice artwork. And I feel like if it wasn't an ETB promo, if it was actually just one of the illustration rares in the set, it would actually be appreciated a lot more. And we got a 10 on that. That's great. Okay, so now we have Blastoise from my buddy Cutthroat Zoo, Cutthroat Nom. Super, super awesome guy. So this was a personal collection Blastoise of his, and we got an 8. Pretty dang good for an early card like this. So I wasn't expecting a super high grade from it, but I'm super happy with an 8. Next up, another Cutthroat Zoo card. I believe he said this was a childhood Mew of his from the Pokemon League 2002. We got an 8 on that. Alright, well, like I said, Cutthroat Zoo, you ever want those cards back, you just let me know. We'll work out you buying them back, but otherwise they're just staying in the personal collection. Next up, the bane of my existence, this Bulbasaur from 151 Best Buy promo. Cannot seem to get a 10 in this. I've submitted several now. Excuse me. And I keep getting 9s. But we finally broke the curse. I'm sorry, I'm going to grab some water here real quick. Alright, and we're back. But yeah, super glad to get this. Finally can stop chasing these dang cards. So now we're going to move on to the Charmander and Squirtle for that series. Next up, another Mimikyu. This one, though, is the Pokemon Center stamp. So you had to get this from the Pokemon Center ETB. We got a 10 on that. That is awesome. So it's kind of sitting in the slab a little funny, huh? I guess it's just the movement in the slab. Alright. Veluza. Beautiful Pokemon here. Let me just move this. I'm actually going to move the PSA 10 pile. It's kind of getting in the way. Alright, so we have the Veluza. Beautiful Pokemon artwork here from Paradox Rift. And we got a 10. Awesome. The Simisear. Little dopey face Pokemon here. Got a 10 on that. Alright, now we have the Radiant Charizard. Like I said, got this in a trade from an LGS. And we got a 10. That's awesome. Not a super expensive Charizard, but something that's just nice to have in the collection. Lumineon V. Very pretty card from Brilliant Stars. We got a 10. Alright, my second Mimikyu from Pokemon Center ETB. And another 10. Awesome. So we'll definitely have the extra up for sale. Mewtwo GX. This is from the Battle Academy. Just a little cheap throw-in Mewtwo. Got a 9 on that, so that's a bummer. You definitely don't want to see the 9s on these cheaper cards, but that's okay. I'll probably just trade it to an LGS. Another Morpeko. I've graded these before. This one was kind of an experiment because I wanted to see what the tolerances were with submitting Pokemon cards. And it did have a little white dot in the corner here. And that produced a 9. So now I know. Any minor imperfection on Pokemon, definitely do not want to submit. Last card here, we have the Loudred. Awesome artwork on this Loudred from Paradox Rift. We got a 10. Fantastic. Okay, so we did pretty dang good. So looks like, I mean, that's our chunk of 10s there. So for non-10s, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, yeah. Wow, so we got 39 10s in that submission. So those are, and a lot of these cards, or a chunk of these cards that I submitted, I was not expecting a 10. I knew for a fact they weren't going to get a 10. So that's pretty dang good for just eyeballing cards. Getting 39 PSA 10s there. So a good chunk of these I am going to list for sale. They're just kind of extras that I had that I thought might have been worth rating. So as always, my eBay is listed in the description. I'm not going to be selling the Stellars, but I will be selling that extra Stellar 10 Aramir. So you're always welcome to contact me if any of these cards pique your interest. But if you're curious on which ones I'm looking to potentially trade or sell, good gauge of that. One, you can either just hit me up, Instagram, email, Discord, and ask me. Or two, you can look at my eBay. And no matter what, I'm going to post all the cards that I do not plan on keeping on my eBay. So anything you see on there, you could either buy it through my eBay, or if you prefer to see if we can make a deal off eBay, of course I'll take off eBay fees if we're making a deal outside of eBay, so you can get it a little cheaper. Or if you wanted to see if I was down for trading or partial trade with cash, always good to work out a deal. I think Flesh and Blood has very beautiful artwork. I always look forward to seeing what Flesh and Blood does. Seems like they're doing a good job. I think they're learning a lot of lessons, and pretty sure Flesh and Blood's going to stick around. Alpha Clash, super cool. Shout out Speed Robo. Green Goblin, stoked on that. Midnight Lake Sigil, big playtester collector. I think they're super cool with being a little more rare. Familiar artworks. And I like that they came from community members that actually helped playtest Metazoo and moved the game forward. Here are the Rudies. That's Maru, definitely going to be for sale. Stoked to get more of the NFT coins. Have a few more to check off the list. I think I'm down to maybe 3 that I need to find. Hello Kitty for sale. Super awesome, finally getting that Zeus done. Kyone, first time submitting Kyone. Fantastic to get 3 of them, so the rest are going to be for sale. Like I said, I always try to submit in quantity. Frostix, same thing, first time submitting, but I always try to submit in quantity so that way I have a higher chance of at least getting that 110 that I need for the personal collection. There's our 2 Stellar 10 Aromirs. Incredible hits, incredible grades. So I'm probably going to keep the 2 out of 99. I like the lower numbers on these, but 86 will be up for sale. I say it all the time, Elestrals is doing a fantastic job. Probably one of the best run, if not the best run, indie TCGs out there. Poseidon from Elestrals. And Majesty from Elestrals. Well, that's going to do it for this PSA submission. I appreciate you guys sticking around, especially if you watch to the end. I know these submission videos get long, especially with how much I've been submitting lately. But as I said before, you know, like slabs, I just think, to me, they're the most fun way to collect. Just think they display super well. It leaves a little less to the imagination when it comes to trading, selling, buying, on the quality of the card you're getting. One person's near mint is another person's mild play, so you kind of got to be careful when you're buying raw cards. But you know, PSA, as we all know, it's not perfect, but I think it's probably better than trusting a stranger online with their own grading criteria. But yeah, so I'm back on track to be doing a PSA submission once a month. So the next one hopefully will be here in August. But until next time, this has been Escaped Alien. Maybe let me know what your favorite card was from this submission.